Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. It's your girl Sika in the house. A very happy good morning to everybody. I'm so excited that I'm almost back to normalcy again, and I have the opportunity to, hang out with my social media family. It's the one thing that I wake up every single morning looking forward to. And I hope that everybody has started their week on a good note and looking forward to have a very productive and fruitful week ahead. I wish you all the best with it, and I pray that everything that you desire is yours in this new week of ours. Good morning to everybody. It's always exciting to start the week with all the dreams, the hopes, the aspirations, the things that you're seeking to achieve. We've all, almost midway through the year 2024, and we all started this year with things that we wanted to see happen in our lives. You've set goals to achieve, you have targets to meet, you have all these different things that you are seeking to, do what you can within your power to ensure that it happens in 2024 for you. Sister Amelia, how are you doing? Good morning to you. And it's all very exciting. It's all amazing. Hello, Una, Deborah, how are you, darling? It's all an amazing thing. We all want to see good things happen in our lives. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if this physical vehicle of yours is an impediment in your way, you're not going to be able to achieve the goals, the dreams, the visions, the talents, the gifts. You're not going to be able to put all of that out there in order to pursue happiness, to pursue, achieving big things in your life. One of the most painful things in life is to have goals, to have, ambitions. But because you are not physically able to do it, your goals are there, the things that you want to pursue or achieve are there in your life, but for some reason, you can't make it happen. It is one of the most painful things that will happen. A couple weeks back, the weather was a bit tipsy-turvy. One day it's sunny, the next 5 minutes it's raining, the next 30 minutes it's raining and snowing. I unfortunately had to go. Oh, God bless you so much, my darling. Thank you. You know how to love me. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I went to go and get my hair done, and unfortunately I got caught out in the rain, for the snowy rain. It wasn't even for a long time, maybe 2 minutes on the way in from the car to the salon itself and back again to the car. And my nose started dripping. I got home. I did all the sensible things that I had to do. Rip myself apart, have a warm bath, like do all the sensible things that you would do when you're hit by the cold weather. But there was all kinds of things that were coming at me that week. There was stress at work. I was working long hours. There were so many deadlines. There's so many things to achieve. And so when you are faced with all of those things, your immunity is not in a very good place when you're stressed out at all, because you're releasing cortisol into your system, and you're just not at that high place where you're able to fight things that are coming inside of you. There's a lot of toxins around, and I got the flu. Oh boy. When it got me good. You haven't seen me here, consistently for the last week and a half or so, because at some point my voice was gone, and so I had to rest my voice. I needed to take a break. I needed to take care of myself in order to come back and be able for us to have the conversation we're having. But in that time of recovery, it suddenly dawned on me that, wow, so some little thing like snowy rain in combination with stress, because I've been subjected to this stress for a good few weeks at work, I can't control it. I have to eat. I have to work. I have to earn a living. And so now I'm faced in this issue. I'm not feeling too good. The stress got the better with the bug. And now here I am at the mercy of two things that have taken me out. I can't do social media anymore. I can't talk. I can work, but I can't talk. What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? And it dawned on me that, hello, my brother, how are you? It is, there's so many things that we all want to do and achieve in this life. But if this thing fails you, you are done for. There's so many people today that are 6 foot under. Books that never got written. Dreams that never came to pass. Things that never came to fruition. Why? Because their body failed them. They didn't have the ability and opportunity to live out their days and be able to achieve all of those things. And so today, they're 6 foot under and you're still alive. And it really makes you so humbled to appreciate what it is that you have in your hands, this life. I was chatting with a friend of mine this morning just before I got onto this live video, and we were just talking about, how amazing God has been. Like, there's so many things that you've been through. There are other people who haven't even gone through a quarter of what you've been through, and those people are not even here to tell their tale. You are still alive and, in good health-ish. And no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what circumstances you are faced with, as long as you are still breathing, your heart is still pumping, you're still able to get around and do the things that you need to do. You have to understand that that is another opportunity being given to you to make something of your life. Hello, Uncle Raymond. How are you doing? Good morning to you. This life is the most important thing that you can ever think about that you have. Some of us take it for granted because, you just get out of bed, you put your feet on the floor, you get up and you brush your teeth, you do whatever, and you're at work, you come back. And so you tend to think that that is just how it always has to be. But if you've lived the life that I've lived and been through half of the things that I've been through, especially with my wellness, that has really given me grounding to understand that this life is but a fleeting breath. All of us, we are so vulnerable. All it has to take is some little thing, some tiny, minute thing. And there you are, at the mercy of everything. I don't have to look very far. Let me remind you of the last couple years, like from 2020 to 2022. We are still suffering the ramifications of a bug that you and I have never seen with our naked eye, but it was given a name, COVID-19. Do you know how many people died because of that thing? Italy, I'm sure we all saw it. Spain. It's like it felt like there were flies when there were human bodies just being put into mass graves because they just couldn't keep up with it, the sheer scale of the loss anymore. America, like so many places. China, India, so many people just perished, cut off from the surface of the planet. But you and I are still alive and kicking and well and able to even speak. You may not have your whole life, together as you planned it out to be. You could use a bit more money. Maybe you want a house, you want a car, you want to be married, you want to have children. You want to start a business. It's so sad, my brother. It's really sad. But you and I are still alive today. We are still here, counted among the living. And that's another opportunity that has been given to you to be able to do what it is that you want to do. But can I tell you something? That a lot of us have become so reliant. We've taken the power and the control that God has given to us, and we've given it to some other people. I'm doing good, New Vision. How are you? We've taken our own control that God has given to you and I to be able to take charge and dominion over ourselves, our own bodies, and be able to control that. And we've thrown it into the hands of other people. Some of us have entrusted our lives, our wellness, our everything in the hands of our family doctor. We think that our family doctor, it's his or her responsibility to make sure that you and I stay alive. And I have nothing against medics. I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. To begin with, it's years of studying for them to get to that point. And at the end of the day, it's just a huge book that they have. You come and present your symptoms and let me see, what does this sound like? What can I do to make it better? Does that make us any more special than those who have gone due to no fault of theirs? Of course not. There's nothing special. It is just but for the grace that you and I are here. I ask myself that question every time, especially when somebody I know and love dearly is no more with us. I'm like, what did I do that was so good that they have gone and I am still here? Why? Why am I still here? What is so special about me? And sometimes when I think about the things that I've been through and the fact that I am still here, I am just in awe. Like it humbles you. I've said this, I don't know how many times. Some people have heard it, some people haven't. 17 times I have gone under the knife. Some of them under local anesthesia, maybe 5 or 6 times. But for the most part, under general anesthetic. Do you know that it's a human being that mixes up the cocktail of things that they put together to put you to sleep when you're having surgery? So all it takes is for them to pipette an extra 10 milligrams of something that they shouldn't have put there, and you're not waking up. But me, I've gone there into that theater room a whole 17 times. And I've always made it back alive. Like, what do I do that is so special that I think that I deserve that kind of a living? What is so special about me but for the grace? Why am I here? And other people just go and have one thing and they are no more with us anymore. If you don't start to think like that and let that give you grounding and humility, you become very arrogant and think that, you have everything figured out. Your whole life is all there and you can do everything you want to do. When in actual fact, a little bug that causes the flu that I can't even see with my naked eye can cause me to lose my voice, become so sick that I just decide, you know what, I need to take some time to recover properly. The point I want to make for all of us this morning is that this life that you have to appreciate and be grateful for what you have. But much, much bigger than that, you have the life now. What are you doing with that life? Who are you entrusting your wellness to? Because those people, they're also just human beings. They are just doing trial and error. If it falls in and it happens to be the right thing and they've caught it early, then you're lucky. They found it and they treat you and you get better. If they don't find the right cause of your issue, you continue to have that issue. Sometimes they will tell you that, there's nothing more we can do for you. This is just how it's always going to be. And you have to accept it that is just it. How many of us are not walking around with conditions we've been told that we have to deal with for the rest of our lives because there's nothing else that they can humanly possibly do for you? How many of us? Maybe you have elevated blood pressure and they've told you that, this thing is genetic, it's hereditary, it's in your family. Or everybody, when you get to a certain age, this is how it's always going to be. We can't do anything about it. So here you go. Here are some pills. Go and pop them. And, you're just going to be okay. A heart of gratitude. Bobby, thank you so much. and you pop it every morning because you've been told that if you don't do anything about this, if you don't take this medication, this is how it's always going to be. As I was saying, I have the utmost respect for medics. I have a lot of them in my family. My own sister is a doctor, so I get it. And I have the utmost respect for them. Medicine has its place. In emergency situations, like if I have anaphylaxis right now, I can't breathe. I need oxygen, like I need intervention right now, or my heart will stop beating. So I get it. But we now live in an era where we've become so dependent. It's like medicine is the only solution. Medicine as we know it is the only solution to everything. But it's not. Because all these medications that you and I are taking for one thing, it may sort out one problem and bring out 10 others in its place. So now you have to take this medication to counteract the side effect of that one, and then take another one to help with this one. So you're treating one issue, but in actual fact, there are 10 other subsets of that issue. You end up with a whole medicine box. I have to take this one first. Then 30 minutes later, I have to take this other one so that this doesn't happen. I used to live that life, so I get it. I understand it full well. 17 incisions. I'm not saying this for the fun of it. Honestly speaking, maybe you have diabetes. There's so many people I know and love that live that life, don't have enough insulin, or are making the insulin in their pancreas, but the insulin is not being utilized properly. And so now you have to give yourself this jab 3 times a day. You have to watch what you eat. If you eat too much too quickly, your blood sugar spikes. If you don't eat on time, you can have, a coma, go into a diabetic coma, because there's just no sugar in your blood. So it's always, this kind of balancing act that you're always doing. If you fail to get it right, you're done for it. You can't eat this. You can't have that. You have to put this here. You have to do that. It is a very stressful life that some of us have had to live for a long time. Some are still living it. Some don't even know that it's coming. But what if I were to tell you that that wasn't how it was intended to be from the very beginning, and that our bodies were supposed to have the ability to fight itself, like to be able to survive and heal itself and treat itself when faced with all kinds of things that our environment has now come to be faced with? What if I told you that? Because we live in a time where, everything is happening at a very fast pace. And if you don't catch up with things, you just become obsolete and be left behind. It's as simple as that. A few years back, maybe a decade or so ago, I don't know, I can't even remember when Uber came, but before then, if you lived in England, which is where I used to live at that time, if you just kind of stand by the roadside and you kind of stop a black cab and you get into it, if you're in a hurry to go somewhere, that was your only option, a black cab. And as soon as you sit in it, the meter is already running. Even before he stops for you, his meter is on. If you're in traffic, you're done. Because even whilst the vehicle is stationary in traffic, the meter is still running. Then Uber came by. And now it's the in thing. Some people never wanted to get into Uber because, but me, I just use my phone and then somebody shows up. What if they kidnap me? I know so many of my aunties who for years will never, ever, they wanted nothing to do with Uber because it didn't make sense. I just sit in my house and I use my phone and I touch something and somebody turns up at my house. It didn't make no sense. So there was a lot of opposition. I remember the black cab companies in England, they went on all these protests. These people want to steal our jobs, yada, yada, because Uber came and it was competitive. It was much cheaper for the customer, the end user. And it used technology that made sense. Black cabs were relying on, knowing the map of London The people who drove those black cabs, they had to physically study the whole map of London to be able to become qualified to drive a black cab back in England at the time. Now there's something called Uber, and all you need is a phone. A phone that already has the GPS and everything set up in there. Because when it has Google Maps, you can just type in a postal code and it maps out how to get there. Turn right, turn left after 400 yards, go to the roundabout, use the second exit. And before you know it, you're there. You don't have to, have everything about London map committed to memory. That was Uber. But people were ridiculing it. It's not going anywhere. This is a joke, blah, blah, blah. Uber has come to stay. And now there are other subsidiaries to that. Other people are also coming up with even better things. In different cities, it's not just Uber. There are other things like Uber that people are using. And now it's become, the in thing now. People have become more comfortable with it now. And a lot more people are using it. So if you don't keep an open mind about things and you think that your way is the only way, my way is the best way, my way is the only way, you suffer for nothing. But a lot of us don't have an open mind. We're very fixed in our ways, especially older people. The younger people sometimes have a more open mind to things because they've been born into this world that everything is moving fast. 20 years ago, who would have thought there was something called Snapchat? But all the young people, that's all they're on. It's either Snapchat or TikTok or YouTube. Those three things. Those of us who are here on Facebook, a lot of us are older people. There aren't a lot of young people on Facebook. Facebook is, that's for the old folks. When you talk to teenagers, that's what they say. Right? So life is constantly evolving. If you don't open up your mind to move with the times, you'll be left behind. Very soon, our grandmothers who don't want to learn anything about smartphones, young people can't even relate to them. And they get so exasperated when, they go see their grandma and grandma is talking about, how can I take a picture with their phone? The kids find this so ridiculous. That you mean you don't know how to use your phone to take a picture? What's wrong with you, grandma? And the kids start getting worked up because in their brain, they can't understand how, you don't know how to use your phone to take a picture. Like, what are you saying? So times are always moving ahead and you have to keep up with the times. Even I think I'm so old because the things that my nieces and nephews do, it baffles me sometimes. And this is me saying that I'm high tech. Imagine that. But I still know some uncles of mine who would never, ever, ever, contemplate the idea of having a bank card. It's like, so that somebody will steal my money. Me, I don't have a bank card. I just go to my bank with my passport and this, and then I take money from the teller and I go home. People still keep money under their beds, under their pillows, in their suitcases, in their closets, in their home. Because they don't trust the system. Oh, and what if somebody, if I can use my card, somebody can take money from me. They don't understand the whole thing. People still go to, travel agents to buy their tickets with cash. Like, they go with a huge bag with money in it to go and buy tickets. When you can just sit in your phone, like right now, you just go to Expedia, lastminute.com, name it, and just buy your ticket yourself, how you want it. So the point I'm making here is that time is moving at a fast pace. And you have to get abreast with what is going on. If you don't know what is happening, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with being ignorant or not knowing what is happening. But how about you open up your mind enough to even ask questions? Okay, this thing, I don't understand how it works. What does it do? Can it be of help to me? Is there something I can do differently? Because if you're not asking the questions, you're just going to be left behind. You suffer in silence for nothing. And so science advanced, you know. We went from using herbs that we didn't even understand to try to survive, and then things evolved. And then back in 1928, something came. Oh, revolutionary scientific breakthrough. Penicillin. That was a cure for all kinds of, you know, antifungal, antibacterial issues that we were having at the time. Antibiotics. But this penicillin, it was made from bread mold. And so when it first came out, people ridiculed it. You mean to say bread mold can do something for me? Bread mold. This is ridiculous. This is a farce. This is fake. This is this. This is that. But penicillin has been there for over 100 years. And if you have chest infections bad enough, that's the only thing that's going to make you better. So penicillin has come to stay. Some of us are very allergic to penicillin. Other people can tolerate it. And they use that to help you to recover, your lungs to recover. And as I've said, medicine has its place. It saved my life several times. In emergency situations, I've had anaphylaxis because I was allergic to something. And now my airwaves are choking. I can't breathe. Oxygen is not getting inside. And they called an ambulance, and they came in, and they gave me this EpiPen thing to open my airways and put an oxygen tank on me. And now it's restored back. So thank you, Orthodox medicine, in emergency situations for saving my life. Somebody shoots somebody, there's a bullet through them. Yeah, they come in, they take the bullet out, they stitch you back up, and you recover. Thank God for medicine. But medicine is not the only way. It's not the solution for every situation. Because in a lot of health issues that you and I are both plagued with today, all they're doing is putting Band-Aid on an issue. Like, you have high blood pressure. Okay, let's reduce the blood pressure. Let's give you medication to lower your blood pressure. But what is causing the blood pressure to be elevated in the first place? Ain't got time to go investigating, catch you open, see what the problem is. Oh, you need to do this, that, and the other. No, here is a pill. Go pop it and get better. And now there comes a point where you can't stop popping the pill, because as soon as you stop taking the medicine, your blood pressure is going to soar. And if it soars beyond a certain point, you're more susceptible to having cardiac arrest. That's going to take you out and destroy all the other organs in addition to that too. So now you're scared. Hey, my blood pressure. So now I have to take blood pressure medication for the rest of my life. And there's so many of us that are eating that thing every single day. We're popping it every single day. And if you were just popping it and it was really just solving that problem and not creating other issues, hey, I ain't got no problem with that. But there are men here today that would attest to the fact that they've been taking this blood pressure medication, and whilst it's calming things down, making their heart maybe beat a little bit less faster than it did before, and, you know, take away whatever tensions and pressures that are building up in your blood vessels that are causing the blood pressure to shoot up anyway and are causing other problems. There's so many brothers in the house that are taking blood pressure medication and can't get it up and keep it up. That's just the truth. Let's say it how it is. There's so many brothers that can't get it up and keep it up. If you're lucky to get it up, if your wife is dilly-dallying and, you know, not getting there in time, and Uncle decides, I can't wait anymore, boom, it goes back down again. And you're frustrated because you want to, you know, you want to do the do. Now you can't do the do. It's a stressful time. There's so many marriages that, you know, don't have any fun anymore because Uncle know they do their thing proper. I know they happen. There's no action. Auntie is used to having 2 rounds every 3 days. Now Uncle they are even lucky if they can get half a round in 2 weeks. Maybe you're a sister. You're listening to me. You're going through all the changes that we women are faced with. You know, Your hormones are here, there, and everywhere. This nice apple that used to be nice and succulent and, things are happening. The juices are flowing. Uncle can try and jumpstart this machine. This machine is not jumpstarting. Nothing is happening. It's as dry as anything you can think about. Now, when you are having the thing, it's now so dry. Uncle don't they put the thing for inside. Nothing don't they happen. There's no juice. It's dry like Hamatan Popo. It hurts. You end up with cuts. Uncle don't get cuts for his thing on his a swinging pendulum. Auntie's apple is full of, cuts and bruises, as if somebody put cutlass inside. And now you're not happy. You're not enjoying it. I'm sorry, my big brother, but you know me already. Sometimes, the badness has to come. But I have to just say it as it is. Bula Matali, don't they sleep for job inside? On their job training, Bula Matali is fast asleep and snoring. Auntie is frustrated. Uncle wants to do this thing, enjoy and well. It don't they dry like Hamatampo. Like, how am I going to enjoy this thing when it's so dry like this? So many things. So many things. You have cholesterol issues. And so, your nerves and your, everything that should be working. Blood should be pumping nicely. Because it's all clogged. There's so many things in your arteries and your veins. And so the blood is not circulating properly. There are a lot of my brothers with the erectile dysfunction. There's so much stress out there. The world's problems is too much. So you can't get it up and keep it up. Sometimes it will be trying to rise up. Let's say that this is your trunk. This is your base. And then this is your, ngongo. This is it. Yes, me again, Uncle Ray. I'm so shy of Uncle Ray. It's not even funny. Let's say this is you. This is your leg. This is your tummy to your legs. Let's just say this is your tummy. This is your waist. And these are your legs. And this is your thing. Your fire gun. This is it. They do this, they do this. It's coming up. It goes back down again. Auntie is ready now. Now this thing is sleeping. What are we going to do to try and get this thing to start moving again? Like, by the time it comes back up again, Auntie is tired, she's sleepy, she's snoring. And this is the story for so many people. So many people. And when this thing is missing in action in the marriage for a long time, it don't cause problem. Because it's like, you can see Canaan, but you can't step there. So frustrating. What is the point of having this lame piece of meat with no bone inside and there's no action? What's the point? What is the point? And it's not even just old people these days. Even young guys. Young men in their 20s are having, priapism and all kinds of issues going on. Because they're using substances they don't even understand how it works. Do you know how many frustrated marriages there are? Either male, female, or both. Combination. So many. But many people have just drank ice water on their problem and not talking about it because it's too embarrassing. I don't want other people to know I have this issue, so let me just keep quiet. Let me keep it to myself. And people are hiding by the sidelines, but what this big mouth of mine is saying is true. It's the truth and nothing but the truth. And so I'm saying that there's so many different issues. There's so many different things that are coming up in us humans. Just by our existence, a lot of problems, a lot of challenges every single time is coming upon us, you and I, on a daily basis. And so yes, medicine has its place. And yes, maybe your blood pressure is elevated and they need to use the Band-Aid to fix it temporarily. But does that have to become your life sentence? Isn't there anything else that I can try that may potentially help me solve my problem? And if you ask those questions, is there anything wrong with you asking those questions? But a lot of us, I don't know whether it's fear or we just enjoy the ignorance. I don't really know what it is, but a lot of us just want to remain how we are. Like, we don't want to see whether there are other opportunities or the other options that we can try that will help us. Life like that, you're always going to be disappointed. You're always going to be frustrated. Why? Because you're not living your life to the full potential. Imagine that Oga's blood pressure cannot go down anymore. So this is how you're going to be living your life every single day. Maybe you don't have this problem. That's okay. Go live your life. But maybe you do. You do have this problem. Right? And there are other alternatives. There are other things that you can do to help you solve your problem. 2 years back, I was having this whole seesaw, of blood pressure thing. And the doctor was telling me, if you don't do anything about this, then I'm sorry, but we're going to have to put you on medication. I'm thinking, on top of everything else you have already given me, want to add this one too. I'm sorry, Oga. Let me solve my own problem. So yeah, you start doing all the sensible things, cut back on sugar and salt, don't eat late, all the healthy things that are good for us to do just because we need to do them. We do them. Thank you so much, my brother. Yeah, it's all about education. It's the truth. But sometimes it's the attitude towards the education that is the problem. Because a lot of us don't want to have an open enough mind to even listen to what is being said. You just write it off. Me, I don't understand this thing. So, let me just let it be. Let me just continue things how I've been doing it all along. Hello, my sister Nkiru. How are you doing, darling? But there are other ways. There are better ways of doing things. And so when you keep an open mind about things, it helps. Because you can ask questions. Next time when you go and you see your doctor, tell him or ask him that you've heard about this okro mouth woman on social media who was saying that there's something called LD50. What is that? And insist on him or her telling you what LD50 is. L stands for lethal, D stands for dosage, and 50. What does that mean? Every single pharmaceutical substance that you and I take, every single one of them, from naproxen, which I have here, used to be my life, popping the pill all the time for pain, to what's it called, Tylenol. Do I have Tylenol? Let me see. Tylenol, this one, to alleviate everything, like all the painkillers that we take, all the medications, the things we take for diabetes, to blood pressure, to cholesterol, to everything. Everything that we have to pay money for over the counter in a pharmacy. Cough mixture. What's it called? Antihistamine medication. Everything has an LD50. Because if they're not able to give the pharmaceuticals LD50, they are not going to get the license to sell that thing to anybody. It has to have that for it to be able to be sold to us as humans to consume. Lethal dose 50 basically means at what dosage did 50% of the rats and mice that they test these things on, at what percentage did 50% of them die? That is what lethal dose 50, LD50, that's what it is. And every medication has got one. Every single one of them has it. And that's why when you have a headache, even when your head is bashing and it feels like somebody is going into the back of your head or wherever it's hurting and driving a nail through your head. I used to get migraines. That's how it used to feel. It felt like somebody went in my head, bang, 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 with a hammer and a nail. That's how it felt. You can't take 50 Tylenol because the headache is bad. At best, you can take 2. 1,000 milligrams, a maximum of 4 times a day in a 24-hour period. Because if you take more than that, your kidney and your liver can't even cope with it. You're setting yourself up for not being here anymore. Because if you take a lot more than that, your kidney will just shut down, your liver shut down, and now you're dead. So no matter how bad your pain is, you can only take 2 at a time. And use other things. Put a hot or cold pad on your head. You know, you can't sleep. Some people will be crying because it hurts so bad. Until that thing moves away from you. That is your life. That used to be my life. I had all kinds of different things. They did brain scan. They did all kinds of things. They couldn't figure out why I get migraines. So you know what? We don't know what it is. So here you go. This is another pill. You take it. It will help slow down the rate of your heartbeat and, you know, your brain. Like, it will calm things down so that you don't have it as often. Yeah. I wasn't having it as often. But now, I became like a zombie. I was so slow. When you're telling me something, I have to pay attention. Like, it even gave me another kind of tension headache. Because when we're in a meeting and you're talking about something that is too technical, it takes me another few minutes to absorb what you said and be able to make it make sense in my head. Where am I going? And so maybe you're sat in a lab and people have been told to all get up and go and pipette something. You now have to think, pipette, oh yeah. And now 2 minutes later, you are now doing things that everybody has already done. Somebody has even poured, you know, one of the chemistry substances in a beaker already, and they've started measuring and mixing things. You have now heard it, and you're going to act on it. Is that a way to live? So a lot of the times they put Band-Aid on issues. Let's just give him that to go and try. We don't have money to be doing endless tests. Go, take this, and that's it. But there's a root cause. There's a reason why. And the reason simply is that your cells are not functioning properly. We human beings, every living thing on the surface of this planet is made up of cells. Everything. Flowers, leaves, animals, the pets that you have in your house, your cat, your dog, whatever. Squirrels, all the things that are out there. Down to mosquitoes. And ants and flies that we don't like, cockroaches, they all have cells inside of them. And it's the cells that give them life to be able to do the things that they do. When the cells die, you die. When the cells in your body, when they're not existent anymore, they don't have life in them, you're not alive either. So your heart is made up of cells. Your nose, your eyes, your hair, my hair is made up of cells. My mouth, my teeth, my gum, every single organ in your body that makes you function, my eyes, are made up of cells. So if the cells in my eyes are not functioning properly, I can't see. If the cells in my lungs are not doing what they need to do, breathing becomes difficult. I'm not getting enough oxygen inside of me. And so whatever issue you have, if you have diabetes, there's something not quite right with your pancreas. It's either overproducing and your body, your system just can't utilize what it has, or it's not making enough and it needs more. But the heavens made us, brought us here to be able to cope on our own, fight, survive, and heal ourselves. So if we're not able to do that, something is amiss. There's something that is not right. Basically put, there's a substance inside of us that we were born with. We came with it. It's already in us. It's innate to us. Called redox signaling molecules that are found in your cells. It's inside you. Your body is already making it. Everybody on this planet, as long as you can listen and hear me, you have redox inside of you. You have cells inside of you that are producing redox every single microsecond of your life in this existence that you're listening to me right now. But what happens is that by the time you get to puberty, the amount of redox that your cells are making begins to deplete. It starts to decline because, you know, we're not going to live here forever. And so you're starting to die gradually. if you don't replenish those depletions, by the time you get to our kinds of ages, 40s, 50s and stuff, you're already having major issues. The blood pressure, the erectile dysfunction, the diabetes, elevated blood sugars, your brain, your this. Some people are more susceptible to having a stroke. The other day I heard a 25-year-old had a stroke. How can a 25-year-old have a stroke? How is that even possible? But it's happening because our cells are not simply able to keep up with all the pressures out there and keep the redox levels where they need to be to keep us alive and be able to continue to exist and enjoy our life as it were. What are the things that are affecting our ability to produce this redox by ourselves? Why do we have to top up? There's stress out there. Some of it we can control, some of it we can't. I told you from the very beginning, the last couple of weeks, very stressful time for me at work. Can I control stress at work? I can't. I have to get it done. It's what I'm being paid for. So the work has to get done. They don't care. You get it done. You get paid. It's as simple as that. Maybe you're facing stress at home. Your wife is talking too much. She's worrying you. You're always fighting because she's always nagging you about something. Maybe there's not enough money at home and she's upset about that. Maybe you're a man. You're stressing your wife out too much. Every day you won't do them. She's tired. She has children. She has to, she's had the children. It's taking a toll on her body. Now she has to raise them. And every day at night, go make this woman to sleep at night. Why, Oga? Every night, before they do them. And she's tired. She's tired of it. So she complains. So you're always fighting. That's another form of stress. There's no money. You're working, but nothing to show for it. You're living from paycheck to paycheck. That is another source of stress. Like there's so many things that stress us out. Emotionally, financially, whatever. You're not well. That is another source of stress. Because you are working. You wish you could do more. But your body is not allowing you to do that. That's another source of stress. Let's put that to one side. These foods that we are eating today, half of it is just chemicals that we're eating. The food is not organic anymore, especially if you live in these parts of the world that I'm living in. Canada, they pump all these animals with all kinds of things and we're eating it. If you eat a lot of meat, you see all the time, you are shaving like a man because you have hairs growing up on your face. Because of all those things, the foods we're eating are no longer wholesome anymore because there's a huge population and they have to feed everybody. So they use all these artificial things and we're eating them. The more you eat it, the more influence it has on you. Your hormonal levels change. A lot of things change about you and you're just simply not yourself anymore. This is not the way we were made to live. But unfortunately, it is what it is. And we're living this life. We're so stressed out. We're not happy. There are toxins out there. In today's day and age, all you need to do is to go out. That's it. You start sneezing. Exhaust fumes from people's cars. They're building houses. The farmers are doing whatever they're doing. There's so many pollutants out there. So many of us are allergic to things. It's spring here. A lot of people are indoors. Why? Because when they get out there, their eyes become puffy. They start sneezing. Some people can't even breathe. They need this oxygen thing or Ventolin pump to keep breathing. Like there's so many things that are attacking us in today's world. And so if you don't top up the redox that your body is making with more of the same, you put yourself under immense pressure. The cells can't keep up with all the challenges that you're presenting it with by being out there with your body. And so something has to give. All of a sudden, your brain is not working properly. And so you're more susceptible to having, you wake up one morning and you can't move your legs. You can't move your toes. One side of your face is tilted to the other side. Because the cells inside of you, they are not at that optimum level of redox to be able to keep everything in that homeostasis level, balance, so that you can do what you need to do. So long story short, we all need redox in our lives. As long as you are living on this planet, you need redox. You need to top up what you have, bring it up to that homeostasis level so that everything is in perfect balance. When your cells are well, you are well. It's as simple as that. And so if you're dealing with any particular issue, it means that the cells that are connected to that part of you, something is wrong with it. And sometimes we don't even know what is wrong with us because we can't see inside ourselves. Unless you have the cameras and lenses and things that can look inwardly to see what is going on. You can't see, so you don't know. So when you top up, the quantities of redox that your body is making with more of the same, then you're able to bring yourself back to that balance level. Your body is healing itself. Things are repairing. Life is better for you because your cells are healthier. There's so many things I can say about what redox has done for me. I'll just talk about 2 of them today. There's so many of them. I was fortunate enough to meet a redox cellular health coach right here on Facebook, Pastor Patience. She had also used redox for a long time, has seen what it was doing, and is sharing it just like I'm telling you on social media. Luckily, through a bad situation, our paths crossed. She told me about it. I'm like, hey, what have I got to lose? Because my life is full of popping pills every day. So let's see what this thing is all about. Read up about it, researched it. She told me about it. I got it and I jumped on the bandwagon. At that time, I had the 17th operation to have 2 years ago. Just a few weeks to the time. I started taking redox. I went ahead, had my surgery, but the recovery time, like I was told I needed maybe 2 to 3 weeks to be able to come back fully to work. Within a week, I told my boss, I feel fine enough. I'm just going to start. Are you sure? Yes. I started working. I'm like, this thing is something. I carried on taking because I have a whole host of issues. Those of you who've been here long enough, you know. Polycystic ovaries is a condition that affects women's fertility. Because of that, I ain't got no children. I can't have them. And I've been like this since I was 12. And this thing, if I begin to tell you that story, that's another 2-hour story. Let's save that one for another day. But long story short, for a whole year, I wasn't having no periods. I wasn't menopausal, but it just simply wasn't happening. The doctors were worried. You have to take this, otherwise you can get cancer. They were bugging me left, right, and center. I took the pills. I brought them home because I know what it does to me. When I take anything with hormones, it just messes my whole system up. So you know what? Let me just focus on my redox. 12 months later, I woke up one morning and I was feeling a bit feverish. I'm like, what is this? My body is not what it needs to be. I went to check. Lo and behold, this thing has come. Hey, okay, all right. 5 days later, it was gone. I said, let's see what will happen. Nothing happened for 30 days. And then it came back on its own in December last year. The second time. 5 days later, it was gone. January, February, March, April, now May. 7 full months of not doing anything, not popping no pills from the other side. And for the first time in my life, I don't have to take any medications to have no menses, and it just comes by itself. It's like clockwork. I can almost predict when my next one is going to be in June. If that is not something, then I don't know what is. But for me, living a life for 32 years, where I always have to pop a pill to do things that other people would do normally, that is a huge break for me. That's another one. I told you about the surgery. Within a week and a bit, I was good. I was back to work and I was working. That's the second thing. The third thing was that I would always have migraines. Every time. Sometimes twice a month. Sometimes once a month. But that once a month would go on for a whole year and be bugging me. A whole week, I'll be stuck indoors. I can't sleep. I have to be in a dark room. I can't talk to anybody. I can't keep food down. I'm puking everywhere. It's so horrible to live around me when I'm in that place. You just have to leave me alone and close the door and just be done. For a whole week in the hole like that. And then one day you wake up and it's cleared. And then you're back to normal again. I don't get migraine attacks anymore. When I do, it's so mild that by the time I'm like, oh, it's like my head hurts. I just go lay down for a couple hours and I'm back again. My cells are recovering. This has been years of damage. 17 ops I've had for different things. I don't have to take pain medication anymore for osteoarthritis. Isn't that a blessing? Like by now, this thing would have been finished. I would have filled it like 4 times already. And I have to take another pill so that it protects the lining of my tummy. And then I take this one because it's so acidic. I don't have to do that anymore. This thing has been here for months on end. I haven't gone back to refill it. Why? Because I don't need it. I don't need it. Redox is, my cells are healing. I'm not on blood pressure medication anymore. I don't need it. I never started it and I don't need it now because I'm fine. Maybe you're listening to me. You have this thing. You know, you're diabetic. You have elevated blood sugars. You have all these things going on. And now you've taken these things for so long, it's affecting you. I'm not a doctor. I'm not the one who prescribed the medicine. I can't take you off them. But I am telling you that if you ingest Redox and your cells begin to heal themselves, you don't have to take those things anymore. And when you go back for your next medical check and the next one after that, the doctor will say, yeah, your levels have improved significantly. So if it stays like this in 3 months, I'm going to half your dosage. They half your dosage. You come back 3 to 6 months later, you're still ingesting Redox the whole time. Oh, you don't need this thing anymore. Let's just take you off it. They take you off it completely. And now you can survive without no orthodox medication. All you're taking is Redox to keep your cells going. And that is the end of the story. And so please, maybe you've heard about Redox, I've talked about it, but it still doesn't make sense to you. You don't understand. You want more information. Just type in Redox, I will tell you. Let's have that private conversation. There's things we don't like to tell everybody about. It's fine. You can tell me. And let me help you. You don't have to suffer in silence anymore, sweetheart. You don't. Because there are alternatives. There's so many thousands and millions of people that are on Redox for different things. I wish you could see the whole world that is out there. Maybe you want to see how other people have done it. Contact me. And I can put you in the right place to see what is happening so that you see that there's a whole world out there that you don't know about. Doctors are on it. The same orthodox doctors that we've been talking about, they're on it. Put their patients on it. All kinds of things are happening. People with brain injuries that were told to go and put their whole affairs and house in order. They're still living 5 years, 6 years, 10 years on in perfect wellness and living their life. Why should you sell yourself short? The fact that you don't know something, the fact that you haven't heard about it before, shouldn't you inquire more? Shouldn't you investigate it further? Maybe you think I'm lying, I'm just saying something. But shouldn't you ask the questions and be given the information so that you can study it for yourself? If you think, what I'm saying is a load of cock and bull, discoverredox.com. Go to that website. There's so much there. If you're a scientist and you like to research everything, that's where to go. Discoverredox.com. There's so much. Go watch it. Go read. Read yourself away. and do your own research about it. If there's more info that you need, redox, type it, and I'll send you the links to whatever you want. And you can go and do your own private research for your own self. Satisfy yourself that I'm not just talking about cock and bull story. This is scientifically proven. This is not some holy water or some anointing water I'm talking about. This is a scientific breakthrough. The redox that is made inside of us can now be made outside of the human body, and you can consume it and top up your levels with more of the same so that your body can begin to heal itself. Your cells are doing fine, and so you're doing fine. I'm always going to be on redox. Always. Because I don't want my levels to decline. It declines with age. I don't want what my body is making to make me, my cells unable to cope with what is happening out here. So I'm always going to be on redox because I want to keep my levels here and not there. I don't want to be sick anymore. I want to enjoy my life. What are you doing? A word to the wise is enough. Maybe you've had enough. You just want to take the plunge and just go, order your redox and start your own journey. Redox renews life.myasialive.com. I'll put it in the comment section and also at the top of the video when I come off this live video in 2 minutes. But my sister, my brother, you don't have to suffer in silence anymore. You don't have to think that this sentence of mine of taking pills has to be my story for life. There are other better, more effective ways of doing it, and there's so many people that's already doing this. The fact that you haven't heard about it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's here. And if you live in Europe, in Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, you don't need to suffer in silence anymore. The only 2 places that we haven't gotten to yet is Africa and the Caribbean. But I know sooner rather than later, we'll have markets open globally. But if you live, yes, REDOX, sweetheart. I'll send you the link to the info. I don't know what you want, honey. But yeah, that is it. REDOX. Reductants and oxidants. That's what that is. Redox. This is mine. I'm going to start ingesting this very soon. Very, very fantastic product. And this is how I've been doing it. 7 months straight. No popping, no pill to have a period. No migraines anymore. No pain medication. Every day you have to go see a doctor. They have to inject steroids into your knee so that you can move for a couple weeks. Then it's not effective. Then you have to go back. None of that. None of that anymore. A word to the wise is enough. I love you all so, so much. And I want to see you succeed, thriving, enjoying your life, living your dreams, and taking back control of your own life. Your health is in your hands. Stop putting it in the hands of people who don't really give a toss about you. Pharmaceutical companies are always in cahoots with your medics because when they are able to sell it to you, they get money. They get their cut off of that too. So everybody is just looking out for themselves. Where are you in that equation? They always have to make you scared. They always have to make you believe that you have to be completely dependent on popping pills if you want to stay alive so that you can enrich other people to your own detriment. Think about it. Think about it. And save your own self from yourself so that you can live your best life. Look at my hair. See my skin. See how excited and happy I am. Full of life. Why? Because I'm living the best life. I hated my teens and my 20s, even 30s so much because the pain was insane. But now, in my 40s, in the last couple years, bar this flu that, got me, but I was still on the redox. I didn't go for no antibiotics or anything like that. Just home remedies and my redox. I was having apple cider vinegar with garlic and honey in hot water and my Redox. Applied the gel to my face, my nose, everywhere. Rubbed it all over me and slept in for a good few days. And Anchor, here I am, fully fortified to keep being naughty on this page and making Anchor send me messages to behave myself. But this is the way the story goes. I love you so much, my brothers and my sisters. Take charge, take control, take back control of your life and live it on your own terms, not with pill popping every single day. I love you. God bless you. Thank you so much for everything. And remember, you have one life to live. Live it to the max. Mwah. Bye.